Hello Roosevelt students, this is Mr. Roble, and this is another online video lab that I'll be doing with you. The name of today's lab is Weathering Stations, and it looks like this. This is the general copy. If you have the accelerated copy, it will look a little bit different, but for the most part, the part that I'm going to be showing you is the same. There's just a couple questions that are different on the back of the lab. If you don't have a copy of it, more than likely you can download it from your teacher's website or get a copy directly from your teacher. So the purpose of this lab, there's one I can statement. It says, I can explain the difference between physical and chemical weathering and how they break down rocks. The directions are very simple. It says, go to each station and use either pictures or words to describe what you observe. Decide if each is an example of physical/mechanical or chemical weathering and explain why. So I'll be showing you the 8 stations, and you can fill out whatever it is that you want to fill out on your sheet. There's basically 3 things that you have to do at each station. First, you check one of these boxes. If you think it's physical/mechanical weathering, you check this box. If you think it's an example of chemical weathering, you check this box. Next, you write why you picked whichever choice you picked there. And the last thing you do is you either describe in words what it is that's happening, or you can draw a picture of what it is that's happening. Your notes packet is going to be very helpful with you. Very helpful for you while you're doing this lab. And if you don't have it, I would suggest pausing the video and grabbing your notes packets now. So let's get started. The first one is exfoliation, and I do have a picture of exfoliation here. So this is exfoliation. These pieces of rock are coming off from the large rock. Again, if you have your notes, you're going to have to look up what it is that exfoliation is if you can't remember. And once again, once you look at exfoliation at this picture, decide whether it's physical or chemical weathering, write down why, and describe what's happening or draw a picture of it. Number 2 is vinegar and salt on copper pennies. So I'll show you what we have here. I was able to take some vinegar and salt and make a solution out of it and then mix it together. And when I started, I had 2 pennies that looked like this one. It was kind of a grimy old penny, so it had kind of a dark color to it. After I put it in the vinegar and salt solution, you can see how much lighter it is. It almost has more of the original copper appearance to it. But this is what happened after I left it in the vinegar salt solution for about 30 seconds or so. So that's number 2. Number 3 is broken versus whole and acid tablet in water. And so what I have here is I have 2 small glasses of water, and I'm going to put a whole antacid tablet in here and then a crushed one in here. And I'll hold them up and you can see which one of them starts to dissolve faster. Notice in number 3, you don't have to check a box, but it says this is an example of surface area. How does a rock surface area affect how quickly it weathers? So pay attention to which one of these breaks down fastest. Whether it's the broken one, which is going to be right here, or whether it's the whole one, which is right here. So I'll hold it up here for a second, but notice which ones are breaking down faster, which one is breaking down faster. And again, it has to do with surface area. The little ones right here, there's more surface area, and the big one over here, there's less surface area. So surface area has a lot to do with weathering and how quickly something will weather. So these are almost all the way broken down, and you can see this one's got quite a bit left in it. So it should be very obvious which one is weathering faster. Number 4 is a piece of chalk, just a regular old piece of chalk. And it says chalk with water versus chalk with vinegar. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of water on the chalk. I'll try to hold it up so that you can see it. Then I'm going to put a couple of drops of vinegar on the chalk so that you can, and I'll hold that up so that you can see it. Now with the water, it's starting to come off on my hand a little bit, or on my finger. So the water is kind of dissolving the chalk a little bit, but it's not doing very much, and the camera is not going to focus very well here. But the chalk isn't really doing a whole lot. It's starting to dissolve, but there's nothing really major happening. If I put some vinegar on there, let's see if we'll be able to get this to be shown on the camera or not. It's starting to bubble right now. So there is, I don't think it's going to show up. But take my word for it, it is bubbling right now. I can see it looks like fizz coming out of the chalk. And so there's definitely some sort of reaction happening as the vinegar is dissolving the piece of chalk. So it's doing more than simply what the water did. It's also bubbling.